company. Don't have any company yet. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have a Jason or if I'm gonna have a Dessa. But hopefully I'm gonna have a somebody. We'll see what happens. Got so much stuff on this desk. It drives me crazy. Flashcards, papers, books, schedules. Oh, wow.
Dad, come here. To the office.
Dad, come here to the office.
Okay, we're going to do best 2 out of 3.
Best 2 out of 3. Oh, I don't know.
Okay, best 2 out of 3. Whoever wins gets to choose.
Gets to choose what?
To stay or go milk the cow.
You can go milk the cow.
You can
You can go milk the cow.
Come on.
Go milk your cow.
Come on. It's not funny if you don't do it.
Go milk the cow. And bring me my tea back.
Oh,
Go see why the dog is barking.
go see why the dog is barking. Hey, Art, what's up?
Good my hair.
And Sherry, what's up? Or Sherry, I don't know. I'm not sure how she says it. Good evening, Bear family.
Good evening, Bear family.
I haven't seen her in a hot minute.
I'm just going to sit and agree with you because you abused me the other day and I'm still sore.
Yeah, you abused him. How dare you?
So I learned my lesson not to talk back.
Hey, Henry.
I hope your glove friend is in there tonight.
Oh, it is kind of quiet for anyone else. Is it kind of quiet for anyone else?
Really?
I don't think
It's
so.
very loud here.
Yeah. It's all the way up.
Why is the dog going crazy?
I don't know. I just work here. I don't have the energy for I don't have the energy for him.
You're good. Can you please go see why he's fussing?
Yes, sir. I need my boots.
Which are not by the front door,
Where they should.
where they should be. This is now the second time today that she's had to try and find her boots. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Okay, so what are we going to talk about tonight? Had my first chiropractor visit today. I'm officially old now. I thought you had one back when I thought you guys had them when you had the accident. I thought they went to the chiropractor back then.
I don't know. Maybe officially you're old now because your memory's not good.
Could be. Or maybe it wasn't them. Who was it that had car? Oh no, it was Ben and Meg. And they had their car accident.
Oh.
They all went to the chiropractor. That's right. So what are you going to talk about, honey?
I don't know. New things that you learn when you go and work for the public.
More like things you learned you can't do.
Yeah.
Like what, honey?
You can't ask anybody if they're dealing with an extra chromosome that they're hiding or trying to hide.
You can't do that. What else?
Well, I can't say it on YouTube.
Wow, okay. So this past weekend, Jason and I went about, 40 minutes up the road and had a planning weekend.
Where I got beat up.
You did not get beat up.
You cut my hip.
I did not cut your hip.
Took out a knife and you cut my hip.
Oh, now it's a knife. Now I wasn't roughhousing. Now I took out a knife.
You cut a chunk off of my booty.
It's not your booty, it's your hip.
It's the booty.
It's your hip. It's your booty, we've got a problem.
My beauty?
Your beauty booty. So I have a question. How many of you are having a hard time finding seeds right now? Finding the seeds that you want?
Look at the dork.
Mm-hmm. I saw her flashing at the dog, and then I saw that.
Using the flashlight.
Yes.
She was not flashing the dog.
No, she was flashing the flashlight. She was shaking the flashlight. It was flashing.
No, that's not flashing.
Look, you're a pervert, so your version of flashing is different than mine.
I bet if we took a survey.
If a light is flashing, it's flashing.
Name one light that flashes.
What do you call it when you do your high beams to let somebody know about a cop? What is that called? What are you doing to your lights?
Switching?
You're full of shit. You're full of crap. Pardon me. Hope there aren't any kids around. You're flashing your lights. So don't even start with me. Tom needs to go. You need to get out. I did. But I think just about everybody in here knows that I do that. I don't pretend that I don't. If you've ever seen the tree go down, you know that I cussed. Anyway, so back to seeds. I have been trying to get a handle on some seeds for this year, and there have been a couple of things that I have not been able to find.
I like how you're trying to backpedal.
Why?
You're using profanity and then want to switch it to seeds.
One of the things that I
being verbally abusive and
have not been able to find yet is
sanity.
It's not that I haven't been able to find it. I'm just going to see if I can find it within my community first. Is loofah seeds. I know that I've passed loofah seeds around half of the homesteading community somehow. Like I gave them to somebody, gave them to somebody else, gave them to somebody else. So I know that some of my seeds have made it around this community. So I'm just curious if anybody has loofah seeds that they're willing to share. We haven't even tried to get any seeds this year, but we have a lot left over from last year. We do, but not of everything. So that's the kicker. We got like 10 pounds of okra seed. And we've got a little bit of, I think we have a little bit of tomato seed maybe. Dutch Off Grid, what's up? And we got quite a few pepper seeds. But that's about it. So, you know, we have this huge vision this year of what we want to grow. And obviously we can't do that without seed. So, so that's how that. He's my friend Chris from Arkansas.
Who is?
I don't know.
What you talking about, Willis?
I don't know.
What you talking about, Willis?
I don't know. Don't know.
Well, you got some of your seeds in.
I did. I showed some of those last week, but unfortunately, all of those.
And my gardener's a little backed up.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there because I made the order. What? I have live chat on.
What?
Following Yeshua on YouTube. Stupid top chat was hiding half of what I say. I don't know. So anyway.
Am I blurry or is it my own vision? Are we blurry?
It went blurry. What happened? It was like it's trying to focus on something. I don't know. That's
I'm
weird.
trying to focus on these massive deltoids I have.
I'm not sure.
He was on top chat.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to start. Somebody sent me a weird video via text message, and so I'm gonna have to start sending that person cat videos or something, and just have to remind them.
The really funny part about that whole scenario is when you got it, you were like, "I am not opening this up here."
Yeah, I was in public.
We need to use up our leftover seeds. Yeah, see, we didn't. I have a box in my living room of old seed that we've probably picked up since 2019. And they haven't been stored in the best of conditions over the years.
It was the best of conditions and the worst of conditions.
And so I'm slowly going to start going through those and seeing if they germinate. I'm going to do a germination test on them. And
I think you should just plant them.
Well, the
And
problem
if they come up, they come up.
The problem is that I have a certain amount of real estate, especially with seed starting.
Well, that's why I told you to start in like October, November. Whatever.
And so I want to start kind of going through those seed packets, and if it doesn't, if it doesn't grow, it doesn't grow. Like, I was amazed. I don't know if you've seen the pea video, but if you've seen the garden pea video, I planted 300 and whatever. What is 76 times 4? 304 plants, or 304 seeds. And I would venture to say
305 came up.
no, because I only put one pea per plant or per slot. I would say I probably have about 250 maybe, and not necessarily because of the germination rate, more because I'm impatient. I had 200 or so that just popped right up and started growing. And so I still I've left the ones in the cells that haven't grown, and I'm starting to see them pop up. They're just taking a little bit longer to pop up. So my germination rate is pretty high on those peas, and because of that, we're set to have close to 300 pea plants here pretty soon to take outside. So... And what about this week? What's everybody's weather like this week? Our weather, like today, it was 70 degrees. I mean, it was nice outside. And so, we did a little bit of stuff inside. I went outside. I cleared out. I had planted a bed. I had planted a bed with rutabagas and spinach. And while the spinach grew and the rutabagas grew, the greens anyway grew, I had a lot of chickweed and certain weeds growing in between the little rows that I had. And so today I got out there this morning and I kind of got all of that out of there. And then I'll take that and toss it to the chickens tomorrow for a treat. What?
Nothing. I'm just listening to you. I had a rough night last night, so I slept in today, and I didn't realize you did all of that.
Yeah, so I did that. Tomorrow morning, I'm hoping to get in between. I had planted some lettuce in a bed that had previously had carrot seed in it, and all the carrots did not come up. And so I had kind of mixed the soil around and started planting the lettuce, and lo and behold, now all of a sudden I've got some random carrots just growing everywhere. But then again, the same thing, I have that really thick, it's like a carpet of like chickweed and things like that. And so gotta go in there.
That's awful early for that stuff
and kind of cut that all away. And I'm gonna,
especially when the groundhog said 6 more weeks.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut all that away, pull it out in patches, and take it to the chickens because, and I think in that case, because I was trying to use the Cobra Head tool, but I really think I'm just gonna get in there with my Hori and like use the knife function and just like saw in between the lines of where the lettuce is, and just kind of like scoop it out as a patch and get the top layer, because it is so thick that like I put my hand in it and it was like carpet. So obviously I'm not going to be able to salvage any of the random carrot seed that grew up in there, but I will be able to hopefully salvage the lettuce, because I grew the lettuce and the spinach so that Ladessa would have fresh greens to give her tortoises this winter. That kind of backfired on me because of all of the frost and snow and everything. They kind of stunted their growth a little bit. So, Kiki Garden says someone needs to grind up that groundhog. Groundhog doesn't know what he's talking about. I was listening to the persimmon seeds. Well, what do the persimmon seeds tell you, Palmetto? Because I don't think we had a persimmon this year that we could have picked a seed. I mean, we never found any that we could have seen what the seeds said. Now, I will tell you this. We don't listen to Punxsutawney Phil. We listen to Beauregard, General Beauregard Lee, here in Georgia. His record is much more accurate.
But he also said 6 weeks, I think.
But he did. He said 6 weeks, 6 more weeks of winter. Which, to me, is good, because that tells me that I'm in that area where it's time to start. And that's why I'm like making a little bit of a big deal about the fact that I don't have my pepper seeds, my tomato seeds, and my eggplant seeds from in my gardener yet, because I need to be putting that, like, as soon as it gets here, I need to be getting them in the ground, or in the
seed starting
mix. So, so there's that.
There's that.
Anyway.
So do we have a contingency plan in case they don't show up?
I don't think one is necessary, because if they don't show up, it's going to be by a couple of days, not by weeks. Because I already have a tracking number.
So they're already in the mail.
Well, you know, here's the crazy thing about people that do shipping. They can generate a label well before they're ready to put it in the mail. And the problem with USPS, as soon as the label is generated, that's when it shows up in the queue.
Yeah, but he's not one of those type of people, though.
Well, he is, because the label was generated on, hold on, I'll tell you. Like on the 31st.
I didn't think January had 31 days in it.
Mm-hmm. Like on the 31st, and then, so now it's the 3rd, so we're like 3-4 days. Something wrong with there's a smudge or something weird looking on the right side of my screen.
That's what I keep saying. It looks like I'm getting blurry or something, but my eyes have been so
y'all about to be
up.
smudgy for a minute. How about that?
Definitely crisper.
Maybe that will help. It definitely looks crisper than it was. So.
Well, Jonathan, he just likes to complain.
No, he doesn't. It's like a weird looking. Oh, he's making fun of you.
Like I said, he's like a hairy Karen.
He was making fun of you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let's see. Much better. Nope, still there. Definitely crisper, but the ugly is still there. That's just the stand-in for Dessa. Yeah, see? Label created. So the 31st was when it was created. So hopefully within the next couple of days that will change. And it'll show up. Are these your blue light glasses?
I think so. That's why I want to make an appointment. I need to know what glasses are which. Because I think it's messing with me.
So anyway, but yeah, so that's what I'm sweating right now. Has anybody started their seeds yet? Anything? I know Geeky Garden said he was getting ready to start his tomatoes, I think he said last week. So, I was...
Every time you say tomatoes like that, all I think of is VeggieTales and the song.
If you like to... something. Waltz with... No. If you like to talk to tomatoes. If squash can make you smile. If you like to waltz with potatoes.
So are we going to try that? Speaking of potatoes, we saw a video.
Oh, yeah. James Prigioni. He is up in New Jersey, and he did a video. It came out like 5 or 6 months ago. And he grew potatoes in Amazon boxes. Different shipping boxes that he got. And he was very clear about how deep the boxes need to be for you to be able to get a decent harvest. Like, you don't want to waste your time with a box that's only, 4 inches tall. I think the ones that he has like 13 inches, I think.
Yeah, and he also stated on there that you should only use a certain type of box. Look at the little stamp thing on the bottom.
But he said that he for the purpose of the video, he was using the Amazon boxes because he knew that people get those a lot, and that Amazon uses the type of box that would be okay. Geeky Garden says, got my spring tomatoes starting to pop up, but I've still got winter tomatoes. Yeah.
Must be nice to live in an area where you can have winter tomatoes.
Yeah, so I had an idea we're going to talk about after the show.
My back hurts.
I knew you were going to say that. My back hurts.
Well, I mean, this week we finally got an appointment with the NRCS people, so they're coming by this week to take a look at everything. We need to talk. One of the things that we have to talk about.
Well, I talked a little bit about it last week.
Tonight is what Robin talked about last week, and about these. I think it was a scam. Just because I still have not received an email. But here's my 2 cents. You can call me a conspiracy theorist, you can call me whatever you want, but here's my 2 cents. There are a lot of people out there that love to take advantage of certain situations. take advantage of situations like with Hurricane Helene, the LA fires, when COVID happened, all this. Scams always seem to have gone up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the current situation here in Georgia, especially in my county, is obviously the avian flu.
Mm-hmm.
It actually made national news. Blah, blah, blah. Well, as Robin stated last week, she got a phone call, a weird phone call because it came up on the cell phone, spam risk, all ones.
Mm-hmm.
And she told him to call back when I was at home.
Yep.
Well, he called like Thursday or Friday. Same thing happened. And he started to go into his spiel, and I stopped him. I'm like, look, man, I said, I'm just going to be 100% transparent with you. I'm going to hold on yards. I am not sharing any information with you, and I'm about to hang up after I say what I'm going to say, because
For one.
unless you can send me an email, because I know you got my phone off of the egg candling license list that's open to the public. I said, unless you can send me an email on official government Department of Agricultural letterhead with a phone number that I can call somebody else and verify who you are, not talking to you, because your phone came up all ones and listed as a spam risk. So, and he's like, well, I'm going to call you back from my work phone. And so then it came, when he called back, it took a few minutes. It came back but it said Marietta, Georgia. And so I told him, I said, look, again, your phone, it came up caller ID and not in a way that I can identify who you are whatsoever. And he kind of cut me off, and I'm just trying to give you information about the avian flu. And I kind of was like, I probably know more than you, but go ahead and run and let me hear what you have to say. What are you doing?
I'm not doing anything.
And he wanted, now, keep in mind, every news source, everything that comes out about it from our local emergency services and blah, 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 are saying that it's coming from migratory birds, specifically Canadian geese.
Mm-hmm.
This guy wanted to tell me that it was coming from raptors. And I stopped him again. And pretty much I just told him flat out, as far as you're concerned, I said, I have no chickens. I have nothing. I don't trust who you are, who you say you are. Take me off the list. Go ahead and take my daughter and son off your list.
Yep.
And don't call me again unless you can prove, with beyond a shadow of a doubt, who you say you are.
And you're here in an official capacity, not just trying to give me pointers.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need any pointers.
I made it very clear,
Mm-hmm.
in case he was legit, and in case that they were recording, that the way that they were presenting themselves screamed nothing but a scam. Yeah. Because from my point of view, now granted, I'm coming from a completely different generation. Things were handled different when I was growing up. There was a different level of professionalism. There was all these kinds of things. But the reality of the whole situation is everybody in every government agency knows about people trying to take advantage in situations like this and how all these scams and stuff happen.
Mm-hmm.
That I think that if it was somebody from the Department of Ag or somebody officially doing this, because we also, in the meantime, called around to other people in our area to see
if anybody else got a call.
And nobody else got a call. So I believe that the phone call should have been more like this. Hello, Mr. Rear. I am so-and-so from the Department of Agriculture. I got your name and number from the egg kennelling license list. We're calling to contact you to give you some information about the avian flu, tips and things that you can do to keep an eye on your flock, blah, 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 blah. I don't believe that they would have jumped into how many birds do you have, what breeds are they, boom, 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 boom.
And, or even more so, like, I'm calling, I got your number from the egg kennelling list. If you still have birds, I have some information that I can offer you for preventative, to prevent the spreading of avian flu. Would you be interested? That's all that had to happen, because if you were simply there to offer proactive information, you don't come at somebody the way that this guy was coming at him. You just don't.
And I asked him, was he wearing latex gloves? And he wouldn't answer my question. And so that really perturbed me, because I'm like, I don't talk to anybody on the phone unless they're wearing gloves.
Unless they're wearing disposable gloves.
And, so that kind of, we had to end the conversation right there until we put some gloves on. Yeah. But be careful out there, because like I said, and I made a Facebook post shortly after it happened, that the birds that were affected here had absolutely nothing to do with egg prices. It was a breeder house for broilers. Mm-hmm. It's a meat bird. Mm-hmm. They don't live long enough to be able to lay an egg, or at least they're not supposed to, unless they're robin's birds, and then they will. But
their job is to just put out the eggs so that they can incubate them to make more broilers. Now, does that mean that we might see a small, hiccup in the meat production over the next month or two? Well, it would be like at least 2 months, 3 months, because it takes 21 days for them to hatch and then 8 weeks to grow. So maybe in 3 months we may see something happen with some chicken prices, but
it's Trump's press secretary. I love her to death, and they were coming at her about egg prices,
inflation, and egg prices,
and she said, one, we've only been here 3 days. 2, the previous administration euthanized like 1.7 million chickens last month. That's why you're having an increase in egg prices, because the current amount of chickens that we have are not laying enough eggs to support everybody. So these
well, a friend of ours even made an even better point. The eggs that you're buying right now that are so expensive were laid before the president took.
Yeah. Before Trump took office. The eggs that are in the store right now were laid before President Trump took office.
They were in that store before he took office. So why are you thinking that it just
most of the eggs that you buy in the store are anywhere from 3 weeks
old
to a month old. So
yeah.
But just be careful out there. I'm afraid that you're going to start to see more and more crap like that pop up. And like, if you got a cell phone, an iPhone, or whatever, and it says spam risk, answer it at your own risk. But keep in mind that your cellular device said possible spam. So we have to use a lot of common sense right now.
the other thing is to be very careful. I've seen a lot of this going around lately. Posts on Facebook where people share them, like there's a serial killer running around, or this person kidnapped somebody, or some kid's missing.
Some of those are scams too.
You got to be careful, because those end up being phishing scams where once you've clicked on that link, you're opening up a back door for your computer for somebody to get in there. So the thing that I've been trying to tell people is make sure that you are verifying. Like, if you share information, it doesn't take long to type that into Google to check.
Yeah.
Like our son was sharing something that happened to him that was a huge scam. That they were actually cloning the phone number of a local police department and calling people and trying to extort them for money. And, like, had he not taken it, because he was in a panic, and had he not taken a deep breath and thought, let me check this out real quick and see, and when he Googled it and put the word scam next to it, it popped up.
I wear aprons. Hello,
and
friend.
So I encourage everybody to be very wary of sharing information. If you don't, check something before you share it, because what's happening is as you share it, then somebody else is like, oh, let me share that. Oh, let me share that. And then it just turns out, like a very good example. I don't know how many of y'all know this, but the thing about Joel Salatin being a part of the Department of Ag Advisory Board or whatever is not true.
Yeah, we learned that one. That's not true.
It was not true. It was taken out of context. He wrote something on his blog that was taken out of context, and next thing you know, everybody's excited about what Joel Salatin's going to do, but it wasn't true.
Yep.
And it got tossed all over the homestead community.
Yep. I wear aprons. Hello, hello, hello. Let me give you a huge shout out. We did the tallow in the sausage, and mwah,
yeah, it was very good.
It was very good. Dessa got a little heavy-handed on the fennel, but other than that, no, it was not dry at all. So thank you.
Yes, they turned out really good.
Yeah, so now we're just going to play with flavoring now. So
I want to be able to dehydrate some jalapenos and things like that, and do jalapeno cheddar.
Now, next question, and we kind of looked it up. Robin, just when she makes the cheese, you have to cook it at a higher temperature, right?
I think so.
But without wanting to be able to use our own cheese in the sausages, instead of that processed high temp cheese, do you have any tricks or anything like that goes along with being able to do that? If you do,
I honestly
and
think,
if it's too much to type in here, just please send us an email.
I honestly think the cheese that we have would be, like, if it was the right flavor for what you wanted, I think the consistency is a high level, a high temp.
I know we're getting to eat your cheese now, and it is heaven in a circle. We've used it, and we've put it over, my meatball subs. Carbonara. I just ate chunks.
Yeah, you ate a chunk last night.
Yeah.
It's like, give me some of that cheese.
And it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I need to do some research on how we're supposed to store it at this point. Because it's aged. But I don't know if...
Well, the older it gets, the sharper it gets, right?
I mean, I would imagine so.
What's up, Robin Bailey?
I mean, if you want, I could bring in a couple of them and you could taste the difference between the ages of them. Because I've got the one that you had last night versus the one that I made like 2 or 3 weeks later. What?
Nothing. Nothing. Just thinking. I really want to go down that road.
You don't like my cheese?
Oh, I love your cheese. Your cheese is like Reese's peanut butter cups. Once I start, I can't stop.
You know what? I am going to bring them in because I want the people that got to see them last time. You know, there was a lot of mold on them that we were okay with having, but I learned a trick that made that easier to get off.
So, yeah, I love the cheese. I love the cheese. So I'm thinking about getting Robin a, what do they call it, a cheese cooler or cheese something. Just like I want to get a, what do they call, a sausage cooler or a sausage thing where you can ferment, so that way you can make the pepperonis and the salamis and those, and it keeps them at the right humidity, right temp, and you can lock it up, because I don't really have a spot to be able to make one of those with the air conditioning unit and that bot thing. So
Cool bot.
But it just smells amazing.
Okay, so this is the one we're eating off of right now. And you can see that he's eaten quite a bit of it. Dessa, bring me a paper towel. I forgot a paper towel. And then this is the youngest one. And you can see no mold. That white is butter. So that's how you keep the mold from growing. You put a good...
But if we want to make it blue cheese, you gotta let the...
No, with blue cheese, you actually have to inject penicillin.
Actually, blue cheese has mold in it.
It does. But it's from the penicillin.
Yeah, penicillin's a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't like penicillin.
So. Okay, so you want to take a little slice of this one?
I'm not touching you.
Okay.
Oh.
What?
It's the smell.
She can't get past the... The difference is that her brain wants it to be cheddar.
And it's not.
But it smells more like a Parmesan or a Romano.
And it's really good on
Tastes
things.
really good on stuff that's supposed to have Parmesan or
Parmesan and
Romano.
mozzarella.
That one's closer.
Back off.
So the younger it is, the closer it is to cheddar. It's just starting to get that tang that at the end. You taste it at the end. But before that, it's closer to a cheddar. Right?
Maybe a little bit longer.
It needs to age more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
It almost tastes like a cream cheese.
I'm sorry. Some people like cheese that's not dried up and shriveled. Some people like
soft cheese.
Soft cheese.
Like me, I want to learn how to make brie.
Now that I can get behind. I love brie.
I know, I love brie too.
So. And it goes right to your behind.
Mm-hmm. So anyway. So you prefer this one to this one?
I like them both. You don't want to taste?
This would be really good with some crackers. with some crackers.
I am a cracker. Is the chat broken?
I don't know. Seems like everybody went quiet on me.
Even Glove Guy hasn't said anything in a minute.
Just got quiet on everybody. Everybody's like, they're eating cheese. So, I have, this was the very first one that I did. And then, this is the youngest and this is the oldest. But look at the difference. Mm-hmm. Listen to it's like hard. The rind is really...
I'm a rhinestone cowboy.
Rind is really cool. Just listening. Okay. Cheese. Yeah, so now I've perfected this part. I think I've got this one down. Now it's just a matter.
Everybody
wait for cheese. But if you were here for the live stream, like the very first time that I made cheese, it had mold on it, which I'm told is still okay. But I learned that usually the mold grows within the first week after you start flipping it. And if you keep an eye out for that, you can take just a water vinegar mix and wash, kind of just wipe it all off. And then that's about the time you let that dry, and then you cover it in butter. And once you do that, but you have to be, I say cover it with butter, but you got to be careful not to give it too much butter, because then that also will cause mold. But if you see in those corners, you see the white, that's butter. That's not.
Do you know if you can
send cheese? I don't know. I'm not sure if I could. I'm not sure how that would go over, especially with customs and stuff.
You have to wrap it in cellophane and
yeah, something. I don't know.
Probably vacuum seal it.
Mm-hmm.
Hide it in a stuffed animal or something.
It's very good. So, very good.
We were very close, I think, to having to do that. I'm very, I'm very interested. We have about a year and a half before Dessa goes off to college. And then, depending on what happens in the next year and a half, we've got some heavy decisions that we have to make. We have been seriously keeping our eye on different legislation that's been going up in front of our state lawmakers. Mm-hmm. A friend of ours, Deanna, posted something that happened in Connecticut about what they're doing to the local hobby farmers, homesteaders, mm-hmm. small farms up there with their new laws and regulations. It's they want, if you want to farm, you gotta be a gazillion dollars in debt and have all these facilities. And the same thing's happening here. They just snuck it past very quietly here. We used to be able to raise and butcher and sell 1,000 meat birds on our farm
with no inspection.
With no inspection, no nothing. Now they're making chickens be just like your pigs and your cows, to where you've got to either A, have one of these elaborate $100,000, $200,000 buildings, mm-hmm. or you have to send them to a USDA processor. Mm-hmm. And most of those processors will not touch chickens unless you're sending 10,000, 20,000 birds.
Right.
at one time. And at that point, in my opinion, you are nothing more than a chicken house. I mean, me to run 20,000 birds, that's probably almost be my entire 21 acres.
And your entire day, every day. Like, it would be a full-time job trying to do that.
Yeah. And because you would have to have huge chicken tractors to be able to get them to move.
Yeah.
I think our max, even with the Siskovich type tractors, even if we switched and built little buildings on trailers and then let them run around like you do the layers behind the cows, we're still looking at maybe 1,000 birds every 6 weeks if we're lucky to be able to push that much.
Yeah, that would.
And that would probably have us not having pigs. We'd end up slowly becoming a monoculture here because at best we could run beef cows and dairy cows in front of them and then try to follow them up. But we still couldn't hit the 10 or 20,000 bird mark. So we would just be SOL.
Right.
But there's always a loophole. You know, they can't regulate barter.
No.
And they can't tax it. And so I'm going to be the kind of guy that's like, I need 3 pieces of plywood to be able to fix da-da-da-da. I'm willing to show up with 3 brand new pieces of plywood, and I might have
10 birds.
Give you 5 or 6, 10 birds. Whatever.
Yeah.
A ham. You know, eggs, honey, some vegetables and stuff like that. Because the vegetables are the only thing left for them to come after now, to make it next to impossible for us to sell from the farm. Well, eggs are getting harder and harder and harder. So it's not going to be too far off in the future that they're going to require an egg handling room and
different things,
different pieces of equipment. Because right now, when it comes to it, you've got you're supposed to handle your eggs, and you're supposed to grade them, and you're supposed to label them, but you can do it in a closet, you know, with a flashlight, But pretty soon they're going to say, no, you're going to have a dark room. You're going to have to use this candling device, Because they already started pushing the one tool to be able to measure the air sac, to be able to give it a proper grade and whatnot. So but new administration, RFK, pushing the fact that they really want to question the science and look behind that kind of stuff. Maybe. I know the big thing on his agenda right now is he's looking at immunizations. And so he's really want to push a study for that. We watched his confirmation a little bit on TV. Some of it. And I knew it was bad. And I knew it got worse from the time that I was a kid to now. That the special needs kids, when I was growing up, going through, it was 1 out of every 10,000. Now they're saying it's 1 out of every 35. 36.
Yeah, because he said, it was Senator Mullen, he's from Oklahoma. He said, they were asking about the statistics, and Kennedy gave the statistics, and he said even on the low end, like one of the studies they had was every 1,500, there was 1 every 1,500. If you went from anywhere from 10,000 to 1,500, depending on the study that you see. But even at 1,500, to go from 1 out of 1,500 to 1 out of 36 is
go
shocking. he said, I have 6 children. He's like, is it possible if each one of my 6 children has 6 children, that's 36. So that means one of my grandkids could have autism.
Yeah.
It's like, so, why are we not questioning science?
Yeah.
Like,
and
if the science is secure, you can question it all day long and you're going to keep coming up with the same answer. But if it's not, then you're meant to find that.
Yep.
That's the thing I never understand. Well, why would you question the science? Well, why wouldn't we? Because if we question it and it still shows up, then why does it matter?
I was talking with my aunt today about that, and she read somewhere that it was because women were having babies later in life, in their late 30s, 40s, some of them even in the 50s. That was the reason why it was, because they were career women and they put their career first. But we for a fact know of a family that the kid was normal, acting like a normal child.
And she's the normal age. She's not.
Yeah, and went and had the shots, and an immediate change in their child. But one of the things that she brought up while we were talking on the phone is about this whole avian stuff. How fast they came up with a so-called vaccine for Mr. 19. Why are they not coming up with a vaccine for this avian thing? Who is that?
Who do you think it is?
Truman? Why do we not have that vaccine for the birds? And I told her, I said, most of these birds are already vaccinated to the gills anyway. So it's, I don't know. The Cajun homestead, what's going on?
Teleportation of tea. Call me DoorDash.
Hey, come get this cheese.
So there's
Give me the cheese, boy. You're in a cute boy.
You're gonna stab my father.
I'm not even close. Got like 6 inches there.
And that's how I got the cut on my hip.
Whatever.
I got you, homie.
You can take it, however you want to take it. We are definitely going to be a watchdog right now with the legislation in Georgia because they slipped that one about processing the meat birds, because that that takes a chunk of income out for us. And so if you bite my toe because you're trying to tickle my feet, we're going to have issues. All the time, stop. All the time they're trying to sneak stuff by like that. Like, what did you tell me the other day that PETA was going after again? They were going
Groundhog.
Yeah, they were going after the groundhog.
Groundhog Day.
About Groundhog Day.
So I was curious. That was an interesting point that your aunt brought up about women having births later in life. I don't know if you know the difference between median and mean age or when you're talking about averages and things like that. The median, one of them is where most of the ages like where the largest number is. And the other one is just a total average of everything. The mean age of women having babies right now is 27 for their first birth. The median is 30. So that is a little high compared to what, to have
I
babies.
could not imagine. I turned 50 in about 30 days from today.
Well, I mean, Ladessa, we had Ladessa when you were 30. 31. No, 32. 32, sorry. Just kidding.
I could not imagine having a baby at 50.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Mm-mm. Look, we have friends who've had to take on their kids, like, as parents. You know, they've had to step up as grandparents and raise the grandkid. And I can't even... I mean, I know if we had to do it, we'd help do it, but I get tired just thinking about
that.
I mean,
We could do it, no problem, but, you know, it's... I don't know if I would set it out as a life goal or something and be at 50 and go, okay, I'm ready to have kids now. No, I'm not.
No.
Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love when our adopted family comes over and, I mean, they're, 3, 4, 6?
3, 5, and 6.
3, 5, and 6.
7.
Getting ready to be 7. I love it when they're in the house. Hearing them giggle, hearing them scream, hearing them laugh, hearing a little pitter-patter of their feet.
We get colored pictures all the time.
Yeah.
On monster trucks.
Monster trucks. And,
Yeah.
and so, but to set out and have to change diaper.
Even in mid-40s, like, I would not want to, like, right now, I would not want to do it. So.
But that's our time, because we have to be on time. We're a little over, but we have to be on time because members.
If you're here
In about 10 minutes after, well, less than that, probably 5 minutes, we're literally going to go potty, freshen up teacups. We're going to have a quick live stream with you guys because there's something we need to tell you guys. Members privileges. And so be prepared for that. If you can't come, catch the replay. And so that...
there's no way we could. Yeah, right. Like, there's no way.
And,
yeah, give us about 5 minutes to just basically shut this one down and start another one. Because one of the things that our members get is they get, behind the scenes stuff, first shot at certain things, and when we have new exciting stuff coming, we make sure that they get to hear about it first. So we've got something new and exciting that we're working on, and so we want them to know about it. So. And
then next week, the rest of y'all will know about it.
Yep, and then next week we'll let everybody else know.
So if you don't want to wait a week, you have 5 minutes.
The pressure. All right, guys. We love y'all. We will see you next week. I've got at least one video that I have to edit and will be out at some point.
Yeah, and I might try to do a video myself this week and give you guys a homestead kind of tour kind of thing to show you some of the things that we have done so far and what the plans are for 2025. And
we also have the NRCS lady coming, so we'll probably do like a little walk around with her so you guys can see kind of what that process looks like.
Yep.
So.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you for supporting us throughout the years. We will see you guys next week. Don't forget, check to make sure your bell is rung, and be watching for the new shorts and videos and stuff coming out this week. And we'll see you next time.
God bless.
God bless.